My name is Maeve Short, and I did my project on measuring the sugar, fat, protein, and starch contents in the different ripening stages of bell peppers. Background information. The background on carbohydrates. They are a very important nutrient for everyone, and especially those with diabetes or low blood sugar. They're the main source of energy in the body. They should mostly be eaten from fruits, vegetables, dairy, and whole grains rather than junk food. They contain fiber, which is hard to digest, so it should not be eaten too often. They give the body energy, which is helpful to athletes who need lots of energy for exercising, and they also supply energy to cells. They are required for the human body to function properly. Background on protein. Athletes and people over the age of 65 need the highest amount of protein because in order for athletes to build muscle, they need 3 times the amount of the average human body takes in. People over the age of 65 need extra proteins as they get older. Their bones and muscles weaken, so that helps keep them as strong as possible. Protein is necessary because it builds and repairs tissue, fights infection, and any extra protein is used as energy. Background on fats. A low-fat diet is very healthy for everyone, but although fats are needed for the body to function, if it has too much, the body experiences weight gain and a higher risk of disease. Knowing what food has the least fat would be beneficial to those who are trying to lose weight, prone to disease, or the average person in general. Fats give the human body energy, help it absorb vitamins. They also help the body function properly. Saturated fats and trans fats aren't very good for it, so they should not be consumed too often, but monounsaturated fats and polyunsaturated fats are healthy. Fruits and vegetables aren't known to have a high amount of fat, so it would not be as important to what kind of fat they do contain. Background on starch. Starches are a good source of energy, and they're a main source of many nutrients we need in our day-to-day diet. They are not fattening. The vitamins they include are fiber, calcium, iron, and B vitamins. Fiber and starches are good for people who are trying to lose weight. They also may help to reduce the amount of cholesterol in your blood, which can be very beneficial to avoid a heart attack or a stroke. Balancing the 4. Here's a healthy eating pyramid, which is showing that sugars should be eaten the less, and fruits and vegetables should be eaten the most, with dairy and protein and starch in between. The ripening process effects. Ripening of fruits essentially makes them more palatable. The fruit becomes sweeter, and although the fruit becomes more acidic, it does not become tartar. The texture of the fruit also becomes softer. Fruit earlier on in the ripening process is possibly healthier for you because the compounds fruit contains at that stage are known as anti-oxidants that can help fight infections. Overall, this experiment will help to find out if food is healthier when hardly ripe or ripe as possible. The purpose of this experiment is to find out which stage of the ripening process a bell pepper is healthiest, which expands to other types of fruits and vegetables. Everybody requires a different amount of sugar, fat, and protein. An experiment measuring the sugar, fat, protein, and starch contents in different colors of bell peppers will help to show us what stage of fruit and vegetables is healthiest for those people's specific diets. Experimental design. My questions were, how different are the different colors of bell peppers? How is the ripening process between a vegetable and a fruit any different? Do different ripening stages affect the amount of sugars, fats, protein, or starch in the bell pepper? My hypotheses. The further apart they are on the ripening stage, the more different it will be. Ultimately, there will still be a very large difference between the different colors. A more ripened fruit or vegetable is usually sweeter, so there's a high chance that a red bell pepper will contain more sugar than a green one, but it's also most likely to be the biggest difference. A prediction for the proteins is that a pepper will not contain much, if any, protein during any of the stages. It is also expected that a fully ripened pepper will contain more fat than a non-ripened one. Materials are as followed: 3 red bell peppers, 3 orange bell peppers, 3 yellow bell peppers, and 3 green bell peppers, a blender, a strainer, Benedict's reagent, Sudan 2 stain, safety goggles, gloves, test tubes, graduated cylinder, scale, water, pipettes, Bure's reagent, and iodine solution. Experimental setup. The dependent variable is the sugar, fat, and protein. The independent variable is the different ripeness of the 4 different colored bell peppers. Constant variable is the way each pepper will be tested, which is using Benedict's test for sugars, Bure's test for proteins, Sudan 2 stain for fats, and iodine solution for starches. Control experiment with Benedict's uses a sucrose solution, Sudan 2 stain uses canola oil, and Bure's test uses egg albumin. Procedure 1. Procedure 2 for fats. Procedure 3 for proteins. And finally, procedure 4 for starches. Results. Here are the bell pepper solutions before being tested. After being tested for starches, none of the solutions contain a deep indigo color, which shows us none of them contained any starch. After being tested for fats, none of the solutions turned red or had red floating at the top, which means none of the solutions contained any fat. Solutions after being tested for proteins. Each of the solutions got a bit darker than before being tested. This shows that they may contain a little bit of protein. The red is the deepest, so it looks like it contains a bit more than the others. The pepper contained more protein at the end of the ripening stage rather than the beginning. The pepper solutions after being tested for carbohydrates. The pepper solutions each got a bit cloudier as they went, which shows they all contain a little bit of sugar. The green pepper has the least, followed by the yellow pepper who has a little bit more, the orange pepper has a little bit more, and then the red pepper has the most. The results table. As you can see, for Benedict's solution, the red had the most, orange a little bit less, yellow a little bit less, and green the same or a little bit less. For Bure's, the red pepper had the most, orange a little bit less, yellow a little bit less, and green contained no protein. For the Sudan test, all of them were negative, as well with the iodine test. Error. Pepper solutions could have had too high of a water content. They could have not been blended enough, or they could have had too much or too little of Bure's reagent, iodine solution, Benedict's solution, or Sudan 2 stain. The color of the pepper juice may have also interfered or hidden color with the reaction from solutions, especially Benedict's. Conclusions. Moving forward, research and experimentation that could be inspired by this experiment would be the same experiments on different subjects similar to this one. Since the ripening stages of bell peppers is being explored here, someone may do a similar experiment but on the ripening stages of something different, such as a banana or another fruit vegetable. Applications. This information may apply to people trying to figure out a new healthy diet or people that work in the food business. This information could also build upon other hypotheses about similar foods. The type of question and research that this work may lead to could be things such as, do all ripening stages of various fruits and veggies contain similar or even the same amounts of sugar, fat, and protein? And research that this experiment could lead to could be exactly what changes during when a fruit or vegetable is ripening, if anything does. Here are my citations. Thank you.